Right, there we are again. Wind in the mic. Look at this, look. Beautiful. The heavens, look. Magical. That's why I love it. So this is the rig. Try a little bit of a lead there. I'll explain why in a little bit. I'm just going to bait up, so get the camera in position best we can. It's going to flood in soon, so it's going to be quite interesting. One, two, three. They're good ones, aren't they? No water there. Let's try these three for a start. So we've got a 2-0. Don't usually fish with a lead like that, but because it's a bit swashy, I feel that's the right thing to do. Just want 30 yards really is all you need. Sometimes the rig does come back tangled because of the swash. I'm just trying that lead, see if that'll just help it a little bit. I might have to play with this stop knot on the, just above the lead just to so it looks nice and sharp. Like that, like that, like that, yeah. Like so. That down, that's alright, like that. Try that. Conditions. Not sure what size lead that is. I think it's a 7 or 8, something like that. So gonna lose a bit of bait, usually do. Let's get it out there. Before here, so it's so I think it's either slack water or it's ebbing. I'm not sure what it's doing actually. I think it's about slack water, so when it starts to flood it's going to come this way, so might pay for me to cast up here a little bit. We're just a bit tight to these points. I only bought one rod today because it's when it's like sitting on the fence like this, it can get too hard. You can bring a lot of crap down here for a little sort of, you know, when you didn't need to. Just one spikelet. We've got to get back up there, you see. We just look at the rod tip up there. And I don't know if there's any weed about, but rod tip's nicely high above. Yeah, they're funny creatures, the old bass. You'd think they wouldn't be in that, it'd be too difficult for them, but they're no problems. So, let out a bit of line there. So that lead should just help that just stay on the bottom. That's the plan. I bought some earplugs, you see. So when it's like this, it's banging in your lug hole, you can get a little bit of respite from it. Whether they're going to be here throughout the tide or what, I don't know. You just never know here with this. It's very difficult to find somewhere to fish when it does this, but it looks a bit slack liney, that does. Brutally honest with the bass, they usually hit it straight away. What's going on there? It's gone a bit slack, that is. It's probably nothing. Could be just the lead moving. The wind, the waves, who knows. Niceness about this sort of fishing, you just go with the flow really. It's really got a good bait on like that, and it's when it's washy like this as well, you ain't got to worry about too much about shrimps and crabs nicking it too much. That wind's eased off a little bit. A little bit slack that line. I don't think it's anything. Usually it'll go completely slack and just sit on the beach if that's a fish. If it doesn't do that, then you'll really see the bite on the bench. So the tide's coming in a little bit. Look. So yeah, it's going to push me up there. Push me right back there. Weed there just yet. Quite pleased with that. I'm concerned that that tide is now coming in, so I've got to start sorting out how I'm going to approach this. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this stuff. For now, I'm just going to borrow this area up here, because that's going to get a little bit gnarly, I think. We'll do this with it. What about that? So as you can see where the tide line's right up there, so I don't know how we're going to get on at high water. I really don't. I've got waders on, so in theory I can sort of probably get back up. I can put my stuff up there and still cast enough in this area here. hopefully it's not too much weed. It's out there a fair bit. Bait's dropped down a little bit, there's bait on it, look. So I can't grumble at that. Sit down a bit. See how we get on with it. I just like the idea of that little bit of lead just to help it. See it's starting to twist there, look. Sometimes that comes, when it's like this, that comes back so tangled. As you push the wires in, first thing we can do. So you can see how it's starting to go, look. What's happening here? This bait's still in good nick, look. Not too bad. Not too bad. Right. Few more on. Few more on. Cram them on. Cram them on. I don't know what this wind in the mug's going to be like. There's not really a lot I can do about it, I'm afraid. That's just a good one, look. Look at that. Feed him on. There you go. Yeah, I don't usually like to fish with that lead on there like that, but I just feel that just might just sort of help to keep that on the bottom a bit better. Far enough for a bass anyway. Far enough for the old bass. Always makes me feel a lot better when I do this. When I come down here. Good for the soul. No pun intended. You'll be able to see it from here. I can stand right back here. The tide's going to push us back here eventually. This stuff can stay up here even when the tide's washing around here. I can have the rod back here, and eventually, you know, it will push me back somewhere up there. But for this bass fishing, you don't need to be too far out. Right. Got plenty of bait anyway. At 132, so I've used up 6. So I've got 126 left. Tons of bait, tons of bait. I've used up 60. What left from that sort of session. Might just pinch some salt water. See that keeps me away from it. Ping forward. That's all we need. Time is about 7, 8 o'clock. So we're down at about 4.5 hours, something like that. We'll nick some salt water. I'll see that'll just revive those lug and keep them for a few more days. I'll be brutally honest, when the sea is like this, I'd rather have a lugworm on than I think feeler crab. It's a bit on the big side, must admit, there's nothing to do about it. 20 knots, it came up last night. I don't think a lot was being caught during the day when it was all calm and clear. I've had some of my best days bass fishing when it's like this. But we have missed the bottom part of the tide, unfortunately. So it points towards the top half of the tide if we're going to get anything. But you never know, you might get him throughout the tide. You might get a random one mid-tide. That's what I heard off an angler a week or so ago. He said he had one mid-tide. The only thing I can say, yeah, that's a fish, I think. That's a fish. Keep it moving. It's a reasonable fish. That should bass. That's what we come for. See a little one. Look at that. Nicely, look at the corner of the mouth, look. Yay! Look at that. What did I tell you? Look at the sea and look at this. Look, he's perfectly hooked. Got him. They always get me, these little ones. Nice little one. Start. Turn of the tide. We just lob him out a bit, he should be fine. This wave coming here, look at this. Gotta watch it. My name written on it. Oh, that's a good start. That is a good start. I saw that bite. It's a little fish. See, when the conditions are like this, you think it'd be hard to see bites and things, but with bass, easy as anything to see. Even just a little one. See, that lead, it's just helping it to stay on the bottom. I think that's a pretty good thing. Let's take the bottom hook. He took the bottom hook, he did. See, now that's all munted. What I'm going to do, slide the stop knot up, get rid of that. There's a 1-0 up there, just as a... like that, and I'm actually going to start again. Some fresh. Like that. It's a very simple sort of fishing. 2 hooks. It's got a bit of a chafe there. Got any? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a big bait on. Got the bait, so I'm just going to use it. The fish are biting, so we're going to go for it. No messing. Bait's a couple of days old now, so you've just got to be mindful that it's, you know, you've got to use it. He found it. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the first bass of the year. This is a nice worm, this one. First bass of the year. This is a beautiful worm, this one. Look at this, look at that. How tough it is. It's a black. I think that's what they call a black anyway. Like that, like that, like that. Push it down. Into there. Into there like that. That's it. Magnets on. Good bait that. Just a 2-0 hook. a big bait, that. Magnets on. Too bad. Morning. Just set. We're only 7-ounce lead. It's only just about sort of 40-50 yards, I'd say, out there. I don't know. I'd say we're not too far out. It's not letting us too far out. I think that bait is so scenty. Banging around there. Banging around. I've got plenty of bow in the lines, you see. Don't want it too tight, otherwise the lead's going to start banging out of the ground. So you let a big bow of line out, but just enough so it's above the breakers. I mean, it says on the swell map that these swells are 2 metres high, but in close here, probably no more than a metre. But we're just waiting for that rod tip just to go again. Definitely knowing it's a bite, even from a little bass, you just really get a good little something different. Just you'll see it sort of, look at it now, look, that's just bowing over, look, with the waves. Nice to get a good one, wouldn't it? That was just a small one. How big was that? It was about 1.5 pounds. I sort of knew it straight away. As soon as I saw it, I thought, I know you. It's a nice feeling when you know you've got the bait in the tank as well. Get one early on. That's sort of nice, sort of. That's all it's going to be though. When the sea's like this here, that's all it's going to be. It's going to be bass. It's just too lumpy for flatfish. That's in close like this. You might get a whiting. You might do. I thought that's what that was actually. But more often than not, when it's like this, it's a bass. It's a bass. You look at the fish's profile, and this is his haven, you know. All the food. No weed yet, which is good. Alright, let's save a bit. Just go on the line there. It's just causing a little bit of aggravation, but the sun's just come out. One angle's over, just looking for something a bit different really. Big surf running. Bass conditions. Get a lot of bird activity up here as well. You get lots of little birds of prey and stuff, kestrels catching mice and things. I think they're quite nice to watch. Just got a bit of shitty weed in there, look. I can't, it's far enough out for it to be a little too dicey, so I'm going to have to just leave it. Look at that. Wave. That is that. That is that. Good bait, so no point in just winding it in. It's a shame we haven't got another one in quick succession. He wasn't a monster, but a bass nonetheless. A little bit of a, so the lead's moved, lead looks like it's dragged a few metres there. Slowly sort of just moved around a little bit, as you would expect. Flood coming that way, but nothing too bad. The bait is probably a good 40-50 yards just out in that water there. If I was to stand up out there, it's probably about the height of me, I would say. It's quite swashy, so you need that, I think you need that little bit of lead. The line's just getting dragged down a little bit, which is frustrating. Just want to lose that weed, really. That weed on the end there, look. Just dragging it down, being a pain in the arse. So when it comes in, that'll get on my stop knot, that will. But often, it's just like that. Just going to be patient. Right, let's try this. Let's try this. That'll come off. That'll come off, he says. Read around the rod tip there. Oh. Let's just sort this out. Should fly off, but if it don't, we're back in that same sort of situation. Spike. On the ball. A little bit further that time, so I've released off the tide's coming up. Try and get that line up out of the surf as quickly as possible. I thumped that one that time. go. Here we go. Here we go. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Okay. It's a freezing. That's for sure. Just hope we don't get a massive shower. Really don't think I can handle that. I ain't got my trolley. Oh, there's a few specks of rain there now. Oh dear. Max. Tide coming in. This bad boy out. She's out. Usually goes anyway. Right, here comes the rain. I knew it was going to have a few specks, but that's right, let's leave that in there. That's right. Right, what we're going to do, put my hood up. That's the only thing I've got for it. Might be able to get behind here. Let's have a look round here. There's the rod. If it does really hammer it, I could. Oh, what's this? I could get round in. I could get under here. Get a bit of protection under here, wouldn't I? And whew, stinky poo. There you go. But for now, we'll hang out round here. Tide sloshing in a bit now. Tide sloshing in a bit. Whew. On behaving okay. I'm keeling over for some reason. Why? Yeah, sometimes I find it's just easier to fish with one rod. Often you rebait, it's a little bit of time when you haven't got a bait out there, but it's just a little bit usually in May, a lot of your sessions are going to be in these sort of conditions. So. Number 2. There's a little rattle on there. Right, let's try again. So 2 on the board. 2 on the board. Can't be bad. Got some shit around the bloody. So I thought I got off. I haven't. This stuff is not as bad as the usual sort of maize sort of weed you get around here. What's this? Get rid of that bloody. God almighty. Oh. The crackers. I'm trying to do that, but also trying to keep this reel out of the sand. There's nothing worse when you get horrible gritty sand, especially on a reel like this. That should be to the side, but reel don't get a lot of use anyway. Cap back to front so I don't lose it. Huge wave on that last cast. Huge waves crept up behind me. Went down the back of my bloody waders like this one's sort of doing. Oh, it's coming in. Let's try and get this out. Let's try and get this out. Flying up the beach these waves now as it's getting a bit more depth out there. That's what's got me concerned. It's just gonna wash me off the beach. Running out of beach, you see. That's only been coming up a little while, but we've been here before. We've been here before. Realised I forgot my spare line. That's all I've got. This, what is out there. So if I snaps off, that's it. I just realised that's a bit of a mistake from me. And also line chafing. When it's surgy like this, you can have problems with line chafing. Cut that way, and sometimes you do need to sort of restart and quickly wind on a load of fresh line, just to sort of get you out of a muddle. Fingers crossed we don't have any problems. Fingers crossed. Tide is coming in. Look at this stuff. Here it comes. Boom, 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 boom. It's a coming. Coming in. Good for us, because that's when the fish are going to be here. Oh. Oh. Surging away. Sergio. It's out anyway. In the zone. Keep this line up above the surf there as best we can. Let out a bit, and it wants to move to the you know what's it. So we're down to 108 lugworm. Loads. So we don't have any other problems. We don't have any problems. That's right, that led will move a little bit. Keep an eye on that rod rest. As the water gets underneath it, it sort of loosens it a little bit. There's a lot of pressure with the swell on the rod tip bow in it as well. Just show you some of these lugs. Look. Them in there. Good ones. So we get another bass. So we've had two, not keeper size ones, but who's to say what you couldn't get a lunker one? The fact that they're feeding says to me you could get a good one. Definitely. Oh, and over there. Good bait on here. Try and get it out. Bloody backside there. Water there. Fair way. As far as I can get it anyway. With this wind in my face. 20 mile an hour. Come on, bass. What a good bass, that's what we want. That's what I'm doing. I think there's quite a bit of tide there now. Rod up nice and high up here. Ow. Let's try that. Up a little bit higher. Seas. Look out, look out, look out. It's going to be a tough session. Line goes on evenly. One tip action. Might be a little one there, I don't know, but it's very difficult. It's a small fish on, I don't think there's anything there. It's more to do with the fact that we just didn't get enough distance on it. Just going to re-chuck it out. Oh, bait stage. There's a little bit of weed there, but not too bad. So, about 2 hours for high. That's going to get pretty. We'll be up there. I'm not really bothered. I just want to sort of see if we can get a reasonable fish onto the table. It's the plan. Fair enough, come the hour. Right, let's just have a bite. Right, so the better stage of the tide is sort of approaching. So the tide has picked up as well. It's been dragging the gear around off this point. So what I've had to do, I'm having to march up 100 yards, cast it out. So I'm actually fishing a bit more over that way. The line's bowing round, but that's behaving a lot better. A lot better. So coinciding with the better stage of the tide, you'd like to think we could pick another one off. I mean, we've only had a couple of small ones, but they're still bass. So no reason why real lunker one couldn't sort of put in an appearance. Conditions like this, I don't know how to get on getting it in, but we'll give it a go. It's gnarly out there. It's a bit slack. It's a bit slack. It's gone a bit slack. It's just the lead dragging around probably. So the lead dragging around. Moving around, at least we're sort of fishing anyway. Right. Out there anyway. Quite a way actually. Those are getting bigger. It's frustrating. Yeah, that is what it is. Let's try. We've had two at the bottom of the tide, but we're now sort of struggling at the top of the tide. Nothing as the water's coming. So just keep persevering with it. That's a funny old thing, isn't it? What is that? So I'm putting the rod up high here because the rod is 14 foot. Foot and so the rod's 14 to 15, that's about 16 foot high, that is. So it's just keeping it above these waves, because some of them could be 2 metres I'd say, so it's not ideal. Give it a go. goes there now. Just need the bass to be in it. It's a 7-ounce lead as well. Walking up here, so as it bounces round, it gives a chance to hold bottom. If I cast out in front, it's going to drag round, you see. So I've got to walk up 100 yards. There's a plane up there, look. Looking for a bite. So we're backed up here. No torch pushed us up. Better with the sun out. A slack line there. Just tying it up a little bit. Not had any other bass. Conditions are just a little bit tricky. That's all I can say. There, keep pumping out the bait. So I got the bait, might as well use it. Weed catches on the line a little bit. It's not a lot I can do about it. Let's just rig this camera up. Come on, look well, I see the rod sort of keeling over. It's just a swell on the line, that's all it is. That's all we can do. Got the stuff up there, look. It's actually not too bad. We're down here early on. Yeah, there's the rod banging around. One of them sort of ones you will either sort of just see it dance, or you'll just wind in and there'll be something there. Yeah. That's pulling hard. Hard. Very tricky. It's just swinging there. It's just probably why I put it in. Slack line on it. It's dragged. It's just dragged round. Phenomenal. Sometimes a fish will do that. Drag it round. It's not been out long. It's very, very tricky conditions. Can't feel any head shakes. If I don't wind it, I run the risk of losing the gear on that metal. Just have to wind it in. Shame, it's just gone out. Right in the side of that muddy metal there. It's very, very, very awkward. this incoming tide has been, I'll be brutally honest. It really has. Very, very, very awkward. To the point where it's like a crystal ball, you wouldn't bother. It's as simple as that. It's the trouble, you see, you dig a load of bait, thinking that'll be fishable, or somewhere will be fishable, and then you don't. We had 2 fish, but it's not gone very well. You know, it's just not. Bait has not been out long either. All his guts. It's not been out long, and they're sort of to flush themselves. So usually when you sort of session sort of, you know, it improves. It's one of these sort of sessions where it's sort of, it disintegrates. It's sort of, you're hoping for the best, but it's just, you know, one disaster after the next. Yeah, you need the fish to sort of keep coming. It's a shame because we've had 2 on the ebb. Just need that. These bad boys on. So I'll cast this out. If I don't see it, do another thread. We haven't caught any more. And thanks for watching. It's been a bit of a battle. It's one of these sort of early May sessions where, you know, you're fishing in sort of quite extreme conditions. Don't get me wrong, the fish can be there. Well, we've had 2. They're not the sort of fish I want, or what I've come for, and you just have to accept it. That's as simple as that. You know, it's meant to be enjoyable and all that, but got tons of bait. I don't chuck that. Tons of bait. They're a few days old now, these lug, and really probably last for 4 days if they managed well in the fridge, but they're starting to sort of go a little bit. I don't know where that lug's gone. I hate it when shit like that happens. Maybe like, you can't win them all. There it is. Is that the one? Sloppy one. Just chuck this out and I'll save a bit about it in case we do get something. It's not looking very good. Crap, it's a lot of crap. Every time it casts, it's like, you see why I only go down to 1 rod when it's going to be like this. 2 rods, you just run out of energy, enthusiasm. It's literally shit. Yeah. It's hard just to manage 1 rod. Doing this sort of thing. There we go. Here we go. Right. See, now the tide, it's coming to the top of the tide, it's starting to ease off a little bit. I'm just hoping. That's usually pretty instant if you get one like this. That's usually within a couple of minutes, because after that the bait's all flushed out in these sort of conditions. But we'll try and... We've got the bait, so let's just get this bad boy. Bird's nest on mags. So much wind there, you see. That's it. Right there. Let's find that. Keep it up high. That shit. Now I find with bass, usually the first 5 minutes, first 2 or 3 minutes after a lugworm cast, bang. And after that, usually your bait is flushed or pinched, or that's usually, so it's a lot of effort just for a couple of minutes. But yeah, that's the way it is. And as I'm walking back, I could feel it, if he's taking it or what. See, now it looks fishable. A few minutes ago it wasn't. So it's just the tide easing off, I think. There's still some big waves there. Just let out a load of line and out once more. Right, let's save some battery in case we do get something.